To other news making headlines this evening, according to Secret Service, an armed man was shot and killed today at U.S. President Donald Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida.
They confronted a white male that was carrying a gas can and a shotgun. He was ordered to drop those two pieces of equipment that he had with him, at which time he put down the gas can, raised the shotgun to a shooting position. At that point in time, the deputy and the two Secret Service agents fired their weapons and neutralized the threat.
Trump was at the White House at the time. According to officials, the man entered the secure perimeter around 1:30 a.m. Eastern before he was shot by Secret Service agents and a deputy. Law enforcement officials say the man is from North Carolina and was reported missing on Saturday by family. The FBI is leading the investigation, and Director Kash Patel says the Bureau will be dedicating all necessary resources. Let's now bring in CTV News U.S. political analyst Eric Ham in this conversation. Hi, Eric. Great to see you.
It's good to be with you. Thanks for having me.
So, Eric, this is alarming. It's the President of the United States and his estate, Mar-a-Lago. What is the FBI sharing with us about this entire incident now?
Well, all we know at this point is a little bit more about the individual himself. We know that this is the second time that there has been a breach of some kind on one of President Donald Trump's Florida properties. And of course, in the aftermath of this shooting that took place today, we know that even here in Washington, D.C., at the White House, the security perimeter was actually extended beyond the White House itself, actually enclosing off several streets with a large Secret Service presence across many of the streets that surrounded the White House. So clearly what we were seeing today is that Secret Service, the FBI, and other law enforcement officials simply were not taking any chances.
So you've answered the question partly. I was going to ask you, Eric, what does it mean for the president's security? Is there going to be a rethink on what's going to happen next? Because I remember you and I spoke when there was an assassination attempt. We also spoke when we saw another shooter who was trying. It was a second assassination attempt on the president. Of course, this is far from that. But overall speaking, president's security, what does it mean for that?
I think what we're seeing here is, once again, that clearly the Secret Service has to get this right every single time. These individuals, they only have to get it right once. And so I think what that means here is that law enforcement, particularly federal law enforcement, are going to have to be far, far more vigilant with this president. As we know, there have been quite a few attempts, at least publicly, that we know of. There's perhaps even more attempts and threats that we just simply do not see. And so clearly what we're seeing right now is this is only reminding us of just how polarized the country is, and more importantly, how now political violence is becoming a vehicle in which many individuals are using to express their positions and their opinions. And it's something that should be deeply worrying for lawmakers and other officials across the country.
Yeah, I'll just come to the political violence in a moment, but have we heard anything at all from the president on this incident?
We're still waiting for an official statement from the White House, from the president on this. I suspect that we know that the president is also gearing up for his annual State of the Union address that will take place on Tuesday. Right. And certainly the president is going to have an enormous amount to say about that at that time. And I suspect we'll hear perhaps even more about this as well.
Okay, speaking about the political violence, Eric, we've seen in the last couple of years the rise in political violence, whether it's the Democrats or it's the Republicans or even political activists like we have seen. Is there any discussion or narrative, with the political class on how they want to fix this?
Oftentimes, when these types of events happen, we do hear language and verbiage from officials saying that things need to be tamped down, things need to happen. But oftentimes, in the immediate aftermath, things go back to the status quo. And also, this is an election year. And so already we're beginning to see just how the rhetoric is beginning to tick up a bit in terms of what we're hearing across both sides and how they're speaking. And so I suspect what we saw play out in the overnight aftermath in Mar-a-Lago will likely be more, not less, unfortunately, of what we can expect for the political climate here in the United States.
CTV News U.S. political analyst Eric Ham. Eric, thank you for your time.
You bet. Thank you.